Good morning, family. Welcome to Morning Devotion Light. Let's begin by greeting our Heavenly Parent and true parents.
Yes.
Chanjian Champunamge Kyungbe. Haro. And for our family pledge, let's invite Pastor Milhan Stevens.
가정맹세 1. 자녀극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 본향 땅을 찾아 본연의 창조 이상인 지상 천국과 천상 천국을 창건할 것을 맹세하나이다. 2. 자녀극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님을 모시어 천주의 대표적 가정이 되며 중심적 가정이 되어 가정에서는 효자, 국가에서는 중심, 세계에서는 성인, 천주에서는 성자의 가정의 도리를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 3. 자녀극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 4대 심정권과 3대 왕권과皇族권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 4. 자녀극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님의 창조 이상인 천주대 가족을 형성하여 자유와 평화와 통일과 행복의 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 5. 자녀극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 매일 주체적 천상세계와 대상적 지상세계의 통일을 향해 전진적 발전을 촉진화할 것을 맹세하나이다. 6. 자녀극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님의 대신 가정으로서 천운을 움직이는 가정이 되어 하늘의 축복을 주변에 연결시키는 가정을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 실, 자녀국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 본연의 혈통과 연결된 위하는 생활을 통하여 심정 문화 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 8. 자녀국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 자녀국 시대를 맞이하여 절대 신앙, 절대 사랑, 절대 복종으로 신인의 일체 이상을 이루어 지상 천국과 천상 천국의 해방권과 석방권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다.
Thank you, Pastor Milhan. And for our opening prayer, can I please invite Reverend Joshua Grudetowski? If you can unmute for us.
Yes, please share me in prayer, brothers and sisters. 시작. Beloved Heavenly Parent, spirits of divine and parents of heaven, earth, humankind. Good morning. I'm so grateful that we had this opportunity in which we can reach you this morning, be able to attend you on this Monday, and be able to wake up in our right minds and align ourselves to you. I pray that we can receive your message this day through our morning and decay. Really know that you're here with us, guiding us in every step of the way. So I pray that we can really take advantage of the blessings that you've given us this day, be made aware of them, be able to make the most out of them as we grow and move forward this day, inspired. We can share this inspiration with those around us and share with them also your love, to know that you're there present in their lives as well. So I thank you, and I pray over those who are still coming on this call that they can have the right heart and be able to receive well your message and guidance for them too. I brought this prayer in the name of Joshua Grudetowski, the Grudetowski Blessed Family, and everyone gathered here.
Najee. Thank you, Reverend Joshua. Now we're going to our breakout rooms. We can share our gratitude and appreciations. We'll be back in 5 minutes. Thank you, everyone. I hope you had a good sharing. Reverend Sebastian, would you like to share with us today?
Yes, very, very briefly, but Henry and Mimi didn't have a chance to share. So I'm going to just say really quickly, I'm very, very grateful for Joshua Godotowski. Happy graduation, by the way, and that he is working with Milhan, an amazing team that's leading us. And I'm so grateful. Both of them are young and the future is in their hands, and in their unity and their love for each other. And I learned that Joshua's ministry that he decided to choose is spiritual science. So I'm totally awed, and it makes total sense when I look at him, especially when he prays 2.5 the times speed that everybody else is talking or listening. So God bless you, Joshua.
Thank you, Reverend Sebastian. Thank you. And now for our Gottable reading. And I'd just like to mention that Gottable was founded by Reverend Damian Dunkley. I just found out about that. So
Wow.
to be grateful to Damian Dunkley for Gottable,
Yeah.
which I've been listening to for a few years, even before Dr. Young came. So I'm grateful for Gottable. So, Pastor Milhan.
Yes, thank you, and Kathleen. And I remember sitting at the table at headquarters when they were coming up with the name, kind of bouncing around ideas, and it was really inspired by something the True Father said about everyone should be doing the same 100K around the world, and so that inspired Gottable. And so I think a lot of us knew that even we were discussing if Dr. Young, if anything happened to him, God forbid, we would do Gottable. It was kind of and the fact that Reverend Dunkley came back to resume, I think is quite a nice transition. So
Yeah.
Oh gosh, did I do that right again? Okay. All right, let's do our Gottable reading.
Welcome to Gottable, a daily reading of holy texts known in the Unificationist community as Hundoke. Today we are reading from the Champumogyang.
Champumogyang, Book 6. The World Tours and the Global Mission. Chapter 2, Section 5, America's Bicentennial Celebration. Yankee Stadium. True Parents held 2 events to celebrate America's bicentennial. The first was the Yankee Stadium Rally, June 1st, 1976 in New York City. This rally was held in front of an audience of 50,000 amid stormy weather and the occasional shouts of protesters. True Father conveyed his message, God's Hope for America, and proclaimed that God sent him to America in the role of a doctor and firefighter. This was a bold historic declaration in America as the voice of one crying in the wilderness. During the third 7-year course, a completion stage course, True Father took the decisive battle to the heart of America, which represented the center of the world. At this global and historic junction of good and evil, True Parents established a standard for all indemnity conditions. For their June 14 issue, Newsweek International interviewed True Father and made that interview their cover story. Jesus died on the cross after a 3-year battle to unite the people of Israel, who were of the Jewish faith, which was the center of Judaism. The Unification Church will therefore connect its national standard in Korea, which is victorious both spiritually and physically, to America, the central nation in the spiritual Christian world. The spiritual standard reflects the world, while the physical standard reflects the nation. Jesus' 3-year public life was on the national level, and he meant to expand it substantially to the worldwide level. 1976 is equivalent to the 2nd year of Jesus' 3-year public course. Jesus' crucifixion was decided not during the 1st, but the 2nd year of his public ministry. 1976 corresponds to the 2nd year of Jesus' public life, in which it was decided whether or not Jesus would be crucified. This is in the 3rd 7-year course, the 2nd year of its first 3 years. In this year, the decisive battle will be fought. After the formation stage comes the growth stage. The growth stage is the middle. Counting 1, 2, 3, it is the middle number, and it is the middle point between top and bottom, front and back, and left and right. The providence of restoration always meets its fate at a point in time based on the number 2. Either it is dealt a final blow, or it is set on a path to victory. In the second year of Jesus' 3-year course, which would decide whether or not Jesus would be victorious on a national level, it was determined that he should go to the cross. Jesus had to bear the cross, and the physical foundation was lost. I am engaged in a similar battle in America. American citizens and the government are in an uproar. America's 200-year history corresponds to the last 2,000 years of indemnity. The number 2 in 200 years and the second year of this 7-year course are precisely matched. The second year inherited only a spiritual foundation. Today, the 200-year period is being claimed as indemnity, and this final battle will determine victory or defeat in both spirit and body on the global level. The front line of that battle is the 1976 Yankee Stadium rally. This rally will be a war unprecedented in history. My success or failure at the Yankee Stadium rally will have universal and historical significance. That is why God, Jesus Christ, Christianity, all humanity, the Unification Church, and Reverend Moon of the Unification Church each placed their lives on the line in this fight. Satan knows this, which is why he is attacking through the American media and through public opposition. I have yearned and prepared for this moment, June 1st, 1976, since my youth. It will be a time of joy if we are successful, but a time of misery if we fail. It is a time of joy, but also a fearful time. My concern is whether, on that stage, I raise the flag of victory or the flag of defeat. If I raise the flag of defeat, the way of the Unification Church and humanity will become sorrowful, and I will not be able to show my face before God. Then all of you, along with God, those in the spirit world, and all world religions will fall under the attack of communism. Eventually, this world will become a spiritual wasteland, and all religions which existed until now will decline. The Communist Party will destroy America. This could come even before 1980. We who know this reality have taken historical responsibility. On the front line, through the Yankee Stadium rally. In the Unification Church, we have the 3 stages of formation, growth, and completion. The formation stage is the family level centered on true parents. The growth stage is focused on the nation of Korea, and the completion stage is on the world level. We are fighting a decisive battle in America, which represents the world. The third 7-year course corresponds to the era of completion. This is the significance of the rally on June 1st, 1976, at Yankee Stadium. June 1st signifies the indemnification of the number 6, representing Satan's world. We will then progress to the number 7. The second 7-year course will end in 1974, and the years 1975 to 1977 are the first 3-year course within the third 7-year course. That period marks the 200th anniversary of America's independence. Victory at Yankee Stadium will restore through indemnity the failures at the time of Cain, Noah, Abraham, Moses, John the Baptist, and Jesus. Since America represents the world, all the failures of the Christian age can be cleared up. When we bring an extraordinary victory, it will become an issue for religious circles in America and for Americans from all walks of life. Then, rather than imposing me, they will have to study about me. They will have to study about you as well. Whether in the religious field or any other field, when they know what I have been doing, we will all be elevated to the top. Starting today, April 1st, 1976, we will initiate a national witnessing revival for 60 days to support the Yankee Stadium rally. How do you take part in this? Live as if you represent 6,000 years of history. Live to restore Adam and Eve who fell. We are going to indemnify the 6,000 years of vertical history horizontally through this 60-day period. Work even harder than Noah, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Work harder than Moses, John the Baptist, and Jesus. Work harder than true parents and the Korean members. When you do that, you will overcome. If we just leave America as it is, the nation will perish. In this 60-day period, we can save America and resurrect the perishing democratic world. We can erect a shield to block the infiltration of communist ideology. This is when we can deter the moral breakdown of young people and prevent the decline of Christianity and resurrect it. If we only pass through this period, a universal and historical era will come in which God, for the first time, transforms the providential will into a new age of Jacob. I know you have been entrenched in a national witnessing revival for 60 days to support the Yankee Stadium rally, but destiny will be determined by how you carry out the task during these last 3 days that start today, May 30. The destiny of the Unification Church will inevitably be decided during this 3-day period. The 3 days after Jesus' crucifixion was the time during which he was to bring about a 3-day victory rather than a 3-day period of death. This is parallel to Jesus' time. As a result, this time is a spiritual turning point for the history of world Christianity. In terms of the 3-year course in the Unification Church's history in America, this 3-day period centered on Yankee Stadium can determine the future on the worldwide level. This is why, by heaven and you being victorious in this 3-day period, you are preparing a new beginning where New York can overcome the opposition, hold the flag of victory, and move onto the worldwide level. There were torrential rains and strong winds when the Yankee Stadium rally began. We were desperate. Everyone sang "You Are My Sunshine" in the pouring rain, and the band joined in. Our voices were singing, yet tears were flowing and mixing with the rain. You probably wanted to shout, "I would be so grateful if the rain stopped. Rain, stop now." This is a natural reaction, and we all shared the same heart. God is the only one who has the power to teach us like that for 20 minutes. So I offered a prayer of gratitude saying, "Oh, my beloved God." I wanted to teach the young people of America about God's heart, and this is what occurred during their rally. That is why I was grateful for the rain. We pleaded with the same heart, "Rain, please stop," while loving the world. This yearning is the realm of God's heart. You received a great gift to experience this heart along with thousands of others. When you feel the heart you treasured at that moment, there is nothing in which you will not succeed in life, and God cannot help but cooperate with you. When you think that, even though He wanted to give this gift to all New Yorkers, and especially to those who opposed us, God gave such an occasion for the sake of His beloved Unification Church members, you should feel grateful. That is why I think it is appropriate to say that yesterday was a great and victorious blessing. 3 days before the Yankee Stadium rally, I said, this 3-day period corresponds to the 3-day period after Jesus died on the cross, when He went to hell to witness. I thought, oh my, it rained for 3 days, just as I said. Jesus dying on the cross caused the separation of spirit and flesh. Half of God's will was realized and half was not. In order for the Unification Church to accomplish the physical resurrection, we have to get physically hit, so I was expecting it. I knew something would happen. In the same way that Jesus held onto heaven and prayed, "Abba, Father, why have you forsaken me?" We also have to hold onto God and allow things to run their course. When the rain came on the day of the rally, everything could have been ruined, but we stood in unity and called out to God. This was a priceless opportunity to feel oneness with God's heart. During the Yankee Stadium rally, people could have said, "God is so terrible. Why did it have to rain?" I turned to heaven, and instead of saying, "God, what is going on?" I prayed, "Thank you." A Japanese member's father had a vision of the spirit world and said that the raindrops were spirits. The same thing occurred when the curtain of the tabernacle was torn in half, and the spirits descended to earth and were resurrected. Now the spirit world will cooperate and move us toward Washington, D.C. We have entered the era when the spirit world can cooperate with earth, following the era when it could not. The time is coming when Jesus spiritually will return to earth and gather the Christian spirits. He will gather the fortune of Christianity and combine it with that of the Unification Church. Nearly 700 of your parents and siblings, as well as Koreans from overseas, came to the Yankee Stadium rally. From a biblical perspective, this is the same as Cain and Abel coming together. Until now, many have watched us with criticism and complaint, but now they have united with us. This is an amazing occurrence. History is a record of the struggle between Cain and Abel. That led to their separation, but here, Cain and Abel were able to embrace each other internally and externally. Considering this, I represent the position of becoming one with Korea, and you represent the position of becoming one with your families. If we just become one, this will be the starting point of a movement that can influence the world. Through this, we can make a new beginning worldwide. From 1976, communists will work to eliminate the Unification Church, or will deploy agents to create factions within our movement. I expect many such people to infiltrate our movement. Not long ago, a reporter from the Daily News attended a 3-day workshop in order to spy on us. More things like this may happen. There is no way to prevent this because we are open to the public. Here in America is the first time in my entire life, and hopefully the last time, that I fight a battle while facing assassination threats. The battles we fight during the Yankee Stadium rally and Washington Monument rally on American soil are in alignment with God's desire, Jesus' desire, and the desire of all humanity. They are also the desire of all our ancestors, the people of today's world and our descendants. The critical point for all these desires is here. In order to reach a final decision, I must carry this out. When I say, let's go beyond this critical point of hope and overcome this critical point of desire, that critical point refers to the Yankee Stadium rally. The Madison Square Garden rally was the formation stage, and the Yankee Stadium rally corresponds to the growth stage, the second stage. It is therefore the most difficult. I believe we will pass through the third stage without any problem.
Thank you for listening to today's episode of God.
You got your parents for this reading today. Yeah, I had all kinds of thoughts come to me during this reading. And I'm sure many of you, like I always say, you have many testimonies of experiences of that day. And we honor you. We appreciate you. I remember I was talking to Tom McDivitt. Well, I guess I heard that he was the one who started the You Are My Sunshine song during the Yankee Stadium rally. And as I understand, it was made the heaviest persecution. And, as if it couldn't get any worse, you had all these torrential rainstorms during the event. I saw some footage of some sister putting together some big sign on the field, and the wind is just lifting it off the ground, and she's just crying, no. And as I go into later, just the 3 days leading up to this event was the most the most intense. And I think there were many people saying we should cancel, this is not going to be safe, but we went forward anyway. So I just, a theme I'm feeling is it's about us. Of course we're trying to reach the world, but actually our members and our leaders, we've really been tested. We've been tested to create this community that God needs to multiply throughout the world. And even this message, God's Hope for America, as I understand, that was kind of a translation that made it a little bit more palatable to a Christian audience. But the true message that fathers in Korean language was, America is God's hope. And if you read the speech, Father talks a lot about how America is a microcosm of the ideal world, of world peace, where you have all kinds of people living together in one place. I mean, of course, New York City is the most like that. And so this is very significant. The providence of restoration always meets its fate at a point in time based on the number 2. Either it is dealt a final blow, or it is set on a path to victory. So, we're very familiar with formation, growth, and completion. This is the 3 stages of growth. And Satan has a claim on number 2. And for some reason, this is true not just in our church, right? This is true everywhere. Many people have heard of the sophomore slump. Anyone heard about that before? So in the first attempt, the first try, it's a novel idea, and it's something exciting about it. It's new, it's fascinating. But the second year you do it, that's the hard one, because you have to prove that this is not just a one-time thing or one-hit wonder.
But to get it going for a second year, that's usually where it dies. If it's going to die, it usually dies in the second year. Now, if you can get past the second year and onto the third year, then you've got something that's proven itself and will continue on. So Satan kind of has his claim on the growth stage, which is also, again, this is where Adam and Eve fell, the top of the growth stage. So something to be thinking on, something to be mindful of. If you're ever trying to start something new, watch out for that second year. Make sure you put extra effort and vigor to make sure it comes through. So I want to point that out. We are in our second year of our ministry, but I'm not afraid. Not afraid at all. Yeah, okay, this goes back to the quality of our membership, the quality of we are the leaders of this movement. So that rather than opposing me, this is talking about our opposition, they will have to study about me, and they will have to study about you as well, whether in the religious field or any other field. When they know what I have been doing, they will all be elevated to the top. So, just as we are studying these great people, St. Paul, Peter, these people, these apostles of Jesus, and Jesus only lived for a few years, or at least his public ministry was only so long. So imagine how much material future scholars and historians will have to study about our lives, how we attended true parents, and what did we gain or did not gain, or where were our failures and where were our victories. And these things will be studied, I promise you. If I had anything to do with it, I am still a part of the history department, History Institute. Not much budget there, but at least it exists. So people are going to want to study your life. So I hope you can write your memoir and make it as accurate as possible. I also understand there are some things that are hard to say, while we're still living in this providential time, but still need to be written down somewhere. I remember I was talking to Dr. Mickler, and he was saying how if he could, he would do nothing else but just write and write and write and write. Just write as much as he possibly can to just preserve this history. And the more persecution, the more interesting we must be, because why would anyone persecute someone like a tiny little movement like us, unless we had something that was, wrecking the status quo? So, in the name of God, so something to consider there. And yes, the torrential rains. I just mentioned this because for maybe some of you were at the Yankee Stadium rally. Well, we called it that, but we had it at the Belvedere Estate back in 2016. And I believe that was the first event that I directed at that time. And I remember, there was all these cautions, like, okay, there's going to be a storm that day. Of course, we're all thinking, come on, like, why? Like a really bad storm. In fact, it was like a week before, there was a concert that took place in Germany where there was a storm coming, and they just went ahead anyway, and a lightning bolt struck like the stage, and some of the people were injured. So there was like some real concern for this event at our Belvedere Estate, just on the top of a hill. It's like just but we went forward anyway. And for some of you who were there, or for like many of us who were there, right after Mother's speech, the rain came down really hard. Like right when she got into her car, the rain just came down. And what you may not know is later that evening, a lightning bolt struck down one of the tents close to the house. It was wild. So that, you wonder, why would why is that going on? Like, why would we have a storm? It doesn't seem like God is God's instrumental behind the storm. It seems kind of violent. But as kind of Father says down here, instead of saying, God, what's going on? Which is I think a valid question. He prayed, I thank you. And when I hear this, many times in our life, we have situations where we're not sure. It's hard to tell sometimes, is it coming from God or is it coming from Satan? Some of these attacks. So the only way you really know it came from God is if you have to ask yourself, am I on the right path? Like, am I, are we, because we don't know what's going on behind the scenes sometimes. Like, for example, when when father and mother were first wed in 1960, father really gave mother a hard time, right? I'm sure you know the story. And there are times where she had to sleep in the bathroom because there was no space in the house. And she was pregnant, and it's just unthinkable how a husband could treat his wife like that. And so you might, mother could think, wow, this is just messed up. I'm out of here, right? But what ended up happening was all the other ladies who were jealous of her mother felt bad for her and went to father and said, how can you treat your wife like that? The same people who were persecuting her mother like crazy, now we're defending her. And so in some ways, sometimes God puts these obstacles in our life to get sympathy and support from heaven, or those who are persecuting us. So, another example of this, which is kind of, take this as you will, but at Madison Square Garden, in 2017, July 15, I know it well because I've directed that one too. I was talking to Doug Burton, and apparently, the Sanctuary Church was planning a protest right in front. I don't know if any of you saw them. But when, you might think that's an attack, but interestingly, because they weren't a very big group, but they were there. Apparently, Dr. Kim shook their hands. But when some concern was like, oh, maybe this would be a concern for some of the Christian, choir members who are coming into into MSG. They were wondering, well, what is this? They might get weirded out by that. But actually, it made them even stronger. In fact, when hearing the protesting, they were going into the building and they were singing. So they were kind of like their spirit was heightened to push back against this protest that was going on. So it actually made us even stronger, is my point. So sometimes these obstacles come and we don't know why, and we think it's Satan, but actually maybe it's God protecting us, giving us that, inoculating us with some kind of, medicine. Which medicine can be bitter at first, but it's good for you. If we just become one, this will be the starting point of a movement that can influence the world. I can't say this enough. I know many of you are picking up on this point, that we are the world right here in New York. We are the most diverse, and we are the most spirited, I might say, most gung-ho. So I know that if we can unite, we can harmonize and unite with one another, then we'll bring hope to the world. And I just put this in here. There's no way to prevent this because we're open to the public. And of course, we do have people persecuting us. They may not do it directly, but they're doing it everywhere else and making it hard for us to grow. But that's normal. It's called growing pains. Talk to any famous person, they have what you call haters, right? these haters just love to make trouble, and they put weird stuff in your chats, and they just create issues. You know, in Maryland, when I was pastor, it's hard to have 250 people gather every Sunday and not have one person who just, wants to grandstand or get attention to himself. So yeah, we just took care of it. I called the police, and it was taken care of pretty readily. I love law enforcement, by the way. I don't know why people have such an issue with law enforcement, but they're really helpful. Their job is to protect you and your event. So, and they're kind, and they don't try to escalate issues. Well, hopefully if you do it right. But sometimes we have people that come into our Morning De-Lite and decide to just say whatever they want in the chat, and that's not tolerated. So you're going to be kindly thrown out. But these are growing pains. Okay, so this is just the when you have people causing trouble and opposition, it's a good sign. It means that you're growing, and so rather than hide away from it, I see it as a good sign. So we're going to continue to grow and have a lot of fun. So yeah, thank you for your attention today.
Ajay. Thank you, Pastor Milhan. Now, brothers and sisters, let's take a few minutes to share in our reflections in our breakout rooms. See you in 5 minutes. Thank you, everyone. I hope you had a good sharing. Mimi-san, could you please share with us?
Yes. When I heard this Yankee Stadium the speech by True Father and listening the testimony of members, I was the wonderful senior members, and I'm so always exciting this the father's speech and the testimony of members. Yeah. I was in Japan and I still didn't join the church yet, that 1974. But as Reverend Stevens mentioned about the 6, 7, 8 years ago, 40 years anniversary of Yankee Stadium, we received True Mother in Belvedere. At that time also the hard rain and the storm. Yeah, thank you very much. But that wine is successful. Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Mimi-san. That's amazing. Amazing testimony. Okay, Sam-san, can I ask you? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Henry, you want to?
Can I speak?
Please.
Okay. Yeah. Do you remember the True Mother came to Belvedere to celebrate Yankee Stadium? At that time, the rain started, but when the True Mother began to speak, they stopped. Then after the True Mother finished speaking, heavy rain came up. And also when we are living in New Jersey, when we go out from the bus, we see the flood in front of my house. So really, the occurrence of the Yankee Stadium. So that really I feel that some kind of power to this flood through Mother. Thank you.
Yes.
Through Mother. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And now for our representative prayer. Samsung, could you please pray for us?
Yes.
Thank you.
Dear divine God, our heavenly parent, we thank you so much we could have this experience with our true parents. And we are so lucky to understand you, and we could have this hope this throughout Victoria's Foundation. And how much fear to overcome every event. We sometimes forget, we sometimes don't know. But Father, we are so grateful. Miran Stephen, Pastor, explained, we must be stronger on each hardship. This is really filial son and daughter's attitude. Father, it could create hope for our future. But nothing really compare. But we are so grateful for true parents and our leadership. Father, you know how much we struggle, but you know we can overcome anything, anytime. But Father, please forgive our weakness sometimes, but still this world is going on many different ways. But this experience with true parents is a testimony how we can overcome. So please help us, our leadership, and this United States of America, as elders of nation, leading this whole world to a peaceful world. We are so ignorant. We have nothing, but we have a faith. But we can be stronger than before because of heavenly parents, you and our Victoria's true parents here on earth. And the word of God is with us, and we can cooperate and reconcile with Christian faith, Jewish faith, or other religions, could we come together to realize your kingdom on earth? Thank you very much for this opportunity that we meet and share our heart and our views, viewpoint. Sometimes may differ, but it could be come together. Thank you for this opportunity. And with this Hundok word of true parents and explanation of what happened and what we could have for our future. Thank you again for this Monday of June 12th. Father, we offer this day and a battle for you and for us. Thank you again. Pray, report together in the name of true parents and our blessed family and each one of our heart, sincere heart to you. Adieu and amen.
Adieu. Thank you, Samson. All right, brothers and sisters, let's begin our 7 minutes unison prayer. Shija. Most beloved Heavenly
Thank you, Heavenly Father, Mother. Thank you, two parents, Father. Thank you for Melhan and his family, for Joshua and his family,
Grateful
for each one of my brothers, for Tukona-san's prayer. Thank you, Father, for the Audible inspired by Damien. Thank you, Father, for Jonathan Galloway putting it together every day. Thank you for each one of my brothers and sisters here on this call, parents. We have that determination, artistic conviction, Heavenly Parent, to bring about the change, to bring the back, Father, to stop intense powers that are forward. Heavenly Parent, to join together our hearts, our unity, each other, our artistic unity, go beyond all the fault nature that's right. Courage together with Maris, Father, with Katie, protect Maris, protect Katie, protect Dr. Makabala, protect the brothers and sisters. This is my heart, Heavenly Parents. This is my plea to you. Allow me, Father, to give my center, balance my heart, centering on your heart. Balance my heart, centering on your heart. Heavenly Parent, in the global with the new generation and the new time and the true mother leading us, Heavenly Parent, as the son Henry said, the rain stopped when true mother was speaking. Heavenly Parent, please allow us to connect today with our true mother in our hearts, in our spirits, Father, to allow you to work through us, to bring the good news to the people around us, Father, to open our mouths, to check with Michael Parker, with Ruth, Heavenly Parent, with Pastor Miles, Father, with my brothers and sisters in every corner of the world. Pray for protect especially Home's family, the Seidel family, the Caldwell family, Clark family,
There are so many things that we
Smuggler's family, Yukala family, Apia family, the Heller family, the Lux family, the Guzman's family, the Watson family, Homits and Pooler family, and Malaise's family, the Green family, the Caldwell family, and Latino community, the Valentine, the family, the Sato family, and the parent I pray for the Valentine family, the North and Seca family, the Miles, the Louise, the Orkawa, Calvin and Jarvis family, the Subs family, the Hall family, the Bookie family, the Bookston, the Moores, the Sienna, Masako-san, the Ski family,
ahead of your providence to be concluded
one
This is
nation.
Breathe.
The White family, Israel family, and the Philippines and foreign
Have to
family.
be released.
Pray, Father, for each one of my
unification
brothers and
must
sisters
come.
here together
Two
now.
things have to be done.
We can
we are
accomplish
Wake up.
We are now
our
afraid.
responsibilities to
Your pain.
reach out to every
Stand.
part of the society and to bless the culture, Father. With
Effectiveness
like Betsy Jones,
In the
Father, with
world.
Michael Maria Colley, with Therese and Ernie Stewart.
Our
Heavenly
conscience.
Parent, that we can revive the hearts of our brothers and sisters
Once you
You
find
are
are dead,
substantial.
the dwelling place,
Anytime you know that that
Heavenly
blessing culture is
Parents,
going
the
to
most
come.
strange
Wherever we
and,
well, we become a dwelling
Stand up.
place of you.
terrible,
where
Well,
whichever
Awesome.
our fields are,
And miracles
Pray,
in
Heavenly
our
Parent,
there is
that
a
you
way.
can
place of
junction on this
true
day.
separate
love
Satan
and
from this
Unless
country,
our
Satan from this
Ministry.
world and
Let
this
us be
set
country.
up
stronger
Heavenly
properly.
Parent, and your
the,
will be done.
To serve.
That
unconditional
anybody,
love,
who,
Your
even the
ideas.
worst
true
people,
love,
or the people that have
truly
even committed
nobody will
suicide,
be
they can
left
be
behind.
liberated,
To
completely
Yes,
go back.
liberated,
we are
and
tired.
stand and walk
Heavenly
through the
Parents,
word.
This
we are
day,
Pray,
grateful
Heavenly
for
Parent,
for
that
this
we
your
can really
moment,
work
time.
together.
And Heavenly
and
And
the
Parents,
most
coming
of
of
all,
this
we
day,
can
all of our
whatever
draw
ministries.
we
that
make ourselves,
miraculous
Such
power
a dedication.
that
this
true
New York
Father and
and
Mother
New York become a
talk about,
golden
true
place.
Father
We
talk
can move
about
That's
heaven.
five
how
pence for.
We
we
know that
want
we need
That
heaven's
ourselves
give
to
us
culture.
revive
WFC,
this
ourselves
Dr.
to
opportunity.
Chuma's
truly become
books,
Help me wake up
a
And
and
this
person
day
of
Tong
a
Sin Kong's
can be a
heavenly
glorious
books,
day for
Him
spirit,
you.
Kong,
and
and
family.
you
Puma
are
Kyung,
spirit,
Father.
For us.
and you
Well
are
taken care
And
of.
the books that True
truly
Mother is
grateful
putting
to
out,
you,
In New
true
York.
21
mother,
books so that we
true
can
mother. We
And
know
study
continue
the
this
most
so
ministry
much
full
essential
great
force.
things,
sacrifice, having
centering
a
on the
baby
hard
every
things that
year,
we need in order to
learning
feed our
Need
hearts.
children,
There's so
and
We
many
can
things to
make this
do.
working in the
artistic
So many
unity,
household,
things that we
Father.
can do.
This
working
Just
and
heart network,
we
and
Father,
have
that
the
will
placing
sense
members
allow
to
behind
stay
the
to
scenes.
go
No
and
time to rest
and
with all this
overcome, Heavenly
managing
Parent,
pregnancies
all
and
the
strong and
different
childbearing
centered.
and the
mistakes
families
and
and
difficulties of
creating
the
and at the
past.
same
So
time
we
the
can
global
usher in,
network.
Father, this
Truly, we
new
pray that
world,
the True
Father,
Mother's work
in
can
which
be
we
revealed
can
each
speak
time, each
about it
place,
and
We
have a
can.
history,
that
Father.
we prepare
Pray
ourselves
for
also
Dr.
to be
Mikla
able
and
to
Milan to
find it out
continue
that
the
all
history
the things
program,
that
all
Father.
throughout
that
this
we
This is
can
going to be the
testify
history
scriptures
how
when
the
we're all
Lord of
gone.
Second
all
Advent
prophecy
More.
History, Heavenly
times,
We can
Parent.
handle
how
it
The
better. We
the
words
just
can be
that are
things
used
spoken
about
and
the
written
age
down
that
some
who were
people.
about
put the
what happened
balance
at this
together.
time.
But Father,
need to
without
Will
raise
fuel,
funds.
foundation,
Father, the
You that
hearts
can
We
be
are
our
without
of
our
brothers and
unity,
living
sisters for the
testimony,
time to
without
come.
from
living
our family,
support what we're
One-third,
doing.
should
Raise
make
up people
one-third
like
this
our
time.
and
community
that
better.
We
every
know
quick
about
step,
True
But
Parents
without
can see the
community,
every
blessing.
success that we took,
without
True
every
Mother is so
single
support
realistic.
environment,
every
It will
step
be
we
you are
up
took,
to
lineage
the
cannot
children
be
and
everything
followed.
grandchildren
I pray we can
and the
everything,
You are
great
lineage,
grandchildren,
every
Father, to
tear
you are
carry
that
on
we
descendant.
forward,
get
that we
other
to
took,
clean
people
up
to
the mess
support.
that the
everything that
two-thirds of
we
They
mankind.
lose
truly
God,
that
we
we
This is
can't
a
do
long
surrender
anything
our
struggle
without
that
own
we
you.
have
There's
ahead of us,
humanity
this
to
Father.
very,
you.
very
it's
moment.
our
And I
We
pray
pray
that
weakness.
that
Marilyn,
we
Katie,
can,
and
But we
I
still
all of
can stand
us,
would like to
Your
strong
help
with
help.
the
us see the
future
bridge
husband and
now.
humanity
family,
to
We'll see
and
better.
we can
and the
revive our
greatness of a
hearts
treasure
Still
and
of heaven
revive our
on this earth
realities
this time.
in an
She can,
amazing
she
time that we
escaping,
have learned
but
through
Father,
Dr. Young also and
she
through True
can
Parents
on
about the
this earth
heart of God,
continue
the
make
heart
this
of
Victoria
creation,
Foundation
the
that
heart
Dr.
of
Young
Reverend
suffering that we
Dunkley.
have gone through during
did
the
for the last
fall,
make
3
this
the
years,
the
heart of
deliverance of our
941
restoration.
lives
Now we
days.
just
and
have
our
no
But
idea.
education
each
and
day,
our
We have no
motivation.
idea
it will
really
count
Rescue
to
them.
how and
continue
most
this
difficult
Provia
If our
because it
ministry
happened
is
in
Victoria's
each one of my
Foundation.
brothers and
for
sisters.
them can
For
know
the
who they
He
are.
had
every second of
The
it, every
power of
nanosecond of the day,
2017.
you have been sharing that destiny,
That's
the
our
difficulty, the
commitment.
pain, the suffering,
That is
Father.
our pledge,
And true Father has been
Take their
able
our
to
children.
determination,
capture that heart and say to the
do
torturer, if
our
torture
daily
went
life.
this
All the
way,
children.
Jill. Thank you, everyone. If you can please, well, there was an announcement in the chat, but we're being rudely interrupted by someone. I just want to ask everybody to please please remember to read the Zoom etiquette document, which should be in your emails. It was in the chat, but it got removed. And if you could fill out your prayer request forms if you haven't. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh, okay. Joshua just put it in. We have the Zoom etiquette document and the prayer request form. If you could take a look at that if you haven't already. I hope you all have a wonderful day. God bless you, everybody.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bless
Okay,
you.
Kathy.
All right, thank you. Have a nice week.
Thank